Greetings! Welcome to another edition of Faulkner Fixes All with your host, Faulkner himself. Okay, so my son called and wanted to run through how to set the backlash on a Ford 9-inch rear end, and I told him I would show him this video along with the other folks that wanted to see my homemade Ford 9-inch carrier holder. So without further ado, here we go. This is the holder I made. It's, it's crude, but effective. Has a built-in holder for the homemade wrench that you use to adjust the races for the carrier. You can buy this wrench, but I decided since I was making everything else that I would just make a wrench too. And that's the holder. It holds it pretty well. It's bolted to some plywood, obviously. And this is the holder that I made for adjusting the preload. I skipped that video, but you can get the idea. It bolts onto there, and this piece comes out, and you set the preload, and then you put it in there once it's preloaded. Right now it's preloaded to about 26 pounds, which is slightly above specs, but it'll be okay. 26 inch-pounds. This, in between these two bearings, is preloaded. And so the Ford book says that once these bearings are set to 0, then you can set your backlash. And to set the backlash, you undo these and maneuver these around, and it makes the gear go in towards the pinion, and you can create less or more backlash depending on how you want to move this gear. There's also shims in between here. Right now I just have one 10,000th shim that came with it. Seems to be working pretty good. The gear pattern is pretty good here. You can see the gear marking stuff, this goo right here. You put it on there and you run it through, and then you look how the pattern's working on the coast side and the drive side. And it looks pretty good, so we're going to leave that alone. That looks pretty good. Right now, we're running about 9 thousandths on the backlash, and I will quickly show you how to test that. Okay, so you got your magnetic dial indicator set up to 0. Okay, let's zero it out. I guess I moved it. Okay, that's to 0. There's no play on it yet. I'm going to slam this down a little, and it looks like we have about 9 thousandths, which isn't too bad. The book says 6 thousandths to 12 thousandths, so we're right in the range there. Alright, but we want to check another spot here, so we'll lift that up and we'll turn this. It's pretty tight because the preload is set and all the bearings are new, and there's no oil inside of it, just grease. Okay, we'll turn it to another spot. We'll reset this to 0. Oops, what am I doing here? Okay, 0, it's against it, and we'll knock it down a little. Okay, it wasn't quite 0. Okay, so that looks like about 13 thou. Now that's 1 thousandths out of spec, but not to worry, because you do it in 4 spots, and then you add them all up. So we got 9 thou, we got 14 thou on this third spot. We'll see what this one's at. Okay, here we go. That's about 12 thou. Okay, so 9, 13, and 12. Get to a better spot over here. And let's try this one. Okay, and that's close to 10. Let's see what that is. Yep, that's 9 thou. It's 10 thou. Okay, so what do we get? We got 9. We got 13. And we got 10. Let's do this one spot. The last spot on here. You're supposed to do 4. Okay. Zero that out. That's 11 thou. Okay. So we got 11, 10, 13, and 9. 33. So basically, 43, sorry. Yeah, so 10, 19, 30, 43. Yeah, 43. So 4 into 43 doesn't really go, but 4 into 44 would be 11. So basically the average of this is about 10.5 thousandths. So we're within specs. It's 6 thou to 12 thou. So are we at the high end of the spec? Yes, we are. Now I could adjust this over and make it tighter, and I might do that. But I'm going to look at the book a little further. I don't want to mess with this pattern I got going. You know, I got a nice, I don't think you can see it, but I got a nice pattern going here with the gear marking stuff. And if I mess with it anymore, I'll mess with that pattern. You know, that's a pretty good pattern there, right on the drive side and the coast side. You know, that's pretty good. I can live with that. So do I adjust it more, or do I live with the 11th thou average? I'm thinking I'm probably just going to live with the 11 thousandths. Anyway, well, that's all for now. Next video, we put these bearings on those axles. That should be fun. So, remember, this is the only channel worth watching. And this is a shout out to my son Basil. Now you know how to do it. Okay.